That's true. Well, I wanted to be an actor, so I got a job as a film extra because I thought that way you can watch and see great directors at work. But as a kid, I was a black belt at 10 or 12 years old, and I was very lucky because on one of the extra gigs, somebody broke an arm, and they said, is anybody else qualified? Because with filming, you can't, they'd had to cancel the day.
Yeah.
And I did the gig. And after that, I got my union card to be a stuntman. And that's how it all started.
I guess a lot of music back in the 60s was influenced by skiffle. A lot of artists, from Tommy
Very
Steele
much.
and others, all started.
Yeah.
And that's where you began, isn't it?
That's right, with skiffle, yeah.
So where did that lead you? How did the skiffle turn into the Dave Clark Five?
Well, we formed the group to play football. And we were asked to play a Dutch team one Easter. Didn't have enough money to pay the fares. We formed the group, a skiffle group, run dances, ended up raising £200, which was a lot of money in those days. It paid for us to go over, went over on the boat, got sick, but won the match 2-1, came back, and then everything started to happen. It was exciting. You're playing at places where, they'd throw beer cans at you, but if anything, that made you try all the harder to win audiences over, which was a great apprenticeship in a way. Then we went on, performed American air bases, which in the UK, and that was great for us, looking back at what we recorded, because we'd play for 4 hours. Halfway through, they give you a break and they put their jukebox on and they play these amazing records that were never heard in the UK. They'd say, oh, can you play them? I said, if you let us have copies of them, we'll learn them for next week. And that's where we got Do You Love Me, Twist and Shout, Over and Over, You Got What It Takes. And we were playing those at the American air bases. And because the first record I ever bought was with my sister, Fats Domino's Blueberry Hill. In fact, didn't have enough money, so we split the cost between the two of us.
It was a meteoric rise, though, in the early 60s, and by 64, you'd actually knocked the Beatles off #1 with Glad All Over, and that, you must have had to pinch yourself at the time, because it had almost been an overnight success. In a matter of a couple of years, you'd really hit the heights.
Yes, it was, because I think the reason it caused all the excitement was, in those days, you never sold the volume of records today, what you did then, and we were doing 140, 160,000 a day, and we had to sell over 1.5 million to knock the Beatles off the top because it was their biggest selling single, and Glad All Over went on to sell over 2.5 million.
I'm told that you gave up drumming a number of years ago. You had a bit of an accident on a toboggan or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to a party at Alexandra Palace, which is in London, and somebody had this party on a ski slope and they had all the lighted torches, and it was after midnight, and I went down on a toboggan, but it was artificial snow.
Yeah.
And I whiplashed about 40 mile an hour, put my hands out to steady myself, and my 2 fingers on the right hand went into the hole in the snow.
Wow.
And went bang, 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 and it snapped them. So I was out of action. I couldn't even sign a check for 2 or 3 years.
Is there any chance that your musical time could ever be restaged now?
It's funny. Everybody's been asking me. No, I would love to. It was a passion. I loved every moment of it. And the message of time is very much now. It's caring about what's happening in the world. It's all going too fast. I couldn't give you an answer on that, Martin, but I've learned in life there's not such a thing as never ever. Who knows, mate?